I have a little bit of an agenda tonight. I have a unboxing from Machinist Mike
Oh,
from Minnesota. He sent me some laminates, so I got an unboxing. I got this. So I started this the other night when I was live with Ed. This is a California Framer, and that's actually how I
okay.
met Ed. So I thought that would be kind of fitting that I was working on that when we live streamed. But I finished that up
Right.
while we transitioned over to Granite Cova was going live with him, and I finished it up, wedged it real nice.
Yeah, I
So,
hate that I missed that. I hate that I missed that.
well, you know what? It is. I think it's available. It's available on Ed's page, but
Oh,
yeah, no,
okay.
it was a good one. We went live. We were hanging for like an hour, and then I think he did like another 50 minutes or so with Ryan. Yeah, we still don't have anybody in here, so I don't want to start getting into the meat and potatoes until we've actually got some viewers. But
Yeah.
how's everything going, man?
Yeah, doing all right. A coworker had got two wallets for his boys, so I'm finishing up. I got one of them finished. Did a reverse. He wanted reverse leather on the inside, and then just a regular on the outside. So I've
Nice.
got one more to do. It's almost done. I just got to punch the holes and stitch it. The hardest part for me. So, but other
Every
than that, man,
the
everything's
whole
going
the
great.
whole thing is the whole thing is hard for me. So the first steps first tonight, man. I gotta sharpen this pair of scissors for my wife because she's in there wrapping Christmas presents, and she's like, "Dude, these scissors are so dull; they're barely cutting wrapping paper."
Oh
So
wow, that's pretty cool.
I've actually never, believe it or not, I've never sharpened a pair of household scissors before.
Really?
So yeah, I'm assuming that it's just as simple as flattening the backs and just
Yeah,
going at the bevel.
I think it's kind of a like a chisel. You just kind of do the one side. It's been so long since I've done scissors, I can't remember, but yeah, I think it's kind of like a chisel. You do one side.
These are kind of all gunked up, and I'm assuming she's been cutting everything with these for. I don't even know what these are. It might be Fiskars or cutting edge, whatever. I'm sure they're just Amazon, just China junk.
Yeah, I was planning on getting my wife something for Christmas. And I've bought my wife a couple of knives throughout the time we've been together. She's lost some, and she's still got a few. But all she ever really does is opens packages and cuts cardboard and stuff like that. So I'm always got to clean them up or put an edge back on them. So I found basically it's like a pocket knife, but it's got a razor blade in it. So I thought that would be cool, and I was kind of hinting around at that last night when we were at dinner, and she was like, "No, I'm not interested in that at all."
Oh,
Um,
jeez.
so
Brad from Raw Axes is in the chat, Ryan. He says, "What's up?"
what's up? What's up, Brad? Oh, yeah. So, oh goodness. Uh, um, Brad, I'm still working on a couple of customer orders. I know that you had inquired about a leather mask. Um, I have, I still have some orders to do. It's going to be taking me through the first of the year. After that, I should be available to do something for you if you're still interested. But yeah, after this wallet, I've got one more wallet, and I've got four axe hangs with masks. So I still got a little bit to
Yeah,
do.
you're a little busy, Brad. It's worth the wait, buddy.
Haven't forgotten. So I have back on my wife's present. I built something before we went on the road. Last Christmas, I bought her a fixed blade knife because she wanted a small fixed blade knife, and
Nice.
the um, leather mask that it came with was absolute garbage. But I wanted to do something different. I've done leather knife sheaths before, but I wanted to do a Kydex and leather hybrid of some kind.
Nice. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I got to research what grommets to use, but I've already built the Kydex press, just some foam that I put on the hinges. And once you take the
Hmm.
Kydex out of the stove, you just clamp it together and hopefully that'll work. She asked me about that last night. She's like, "What about my sheath that you haven't done in a year?"
Yeah,
Always
all these
good.
other assholes are getting custom leather this, custom leather that.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
what kind of fixed blade did you get her?
Um, I have to it. It was an Amazon or a eBay thing. It was a just a little custom small batch thing off of eBay. I thought it was an American maker, um, but it wasn't. It turned out not to be U.S. made. But it's still a very nice knife, and it holds the edge really well. So I can't complain about it.
Nice.
And yeah,
I don't have a crazy knife collection of folders, or well, I mean, I guess that's all. I guess crazy depending on who you talk to, right? I have
yeah.
more than a couple, so a lot of people will go, "Jesus, what do you need all those for?" But I love fixed blades, man. I've got a few. I mean, probably less than 10, but
Uh-huh.
um, I like fixed blades.
I mean, I do too, Matt. I really do like fixed blades. And I've got a few, but actually, one of my favorite, it's a custom job. Got it from a guy on um, Instagram years ago. I think he's no longer doing fixed blades that I know of. He's moved to folders, but it is something obscene. Um, and this is kind of like the Kydex sheet that I'm going to try to do, but the belt holster is going to be a little bit different. But the knife itself is just ridiculous.
Ooh, that's nice.
It is super
Um,
cool.
Brad, yeah, we both know Joe Bradfield, right, from Axed and Answered. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, Joe Bradfield. Yeah,
yeah.
that thing is gnarly, dude. That thing looks like it's serious business. That's not a bushcrafter there. That's a freaking defensive knife, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's the only custom knife I have to this date. So
I don't
and they
have
each get
any. I don't have any full on custom knives. I've got a few higher end production knives. I can't
mhm.
remember what Bark River calls the dude from Mike Stewart. I think is the guy's name from Bark River. He calls them semi production. I can't remember the funny term he uses for their knives. They're all handmade. They're all small
Uh-huh.
batch knives, but they do them. You know, they're made in a small factory, and you know they're
Yeah.
all batch done and stuff. But they're pretty high quality. But again, they're a couple $100. They're not five, six, seven, eight, $1,000 knives.
Yeah, that's something obscene that one I just showed you was only a couple $100. And it's probably one of the most expensive knives I have, but everything else, man, I mean, I've lost so many knives. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Working in construction, I've lost so many different Spydercos and Surefire flashlights. Once I started carrying cheap stuff, I stopped losing it.
Oh shit. That happened
Really?
recently, Brad. He said he got his thumb caught in a bandsaw. Like,
Yeah, I just read that.
Brad, that. Oh shit, dude. I'm not gonna lie, man. I've come close a couple times.
Oh wow, dude! So he did that. He had surgery today, and they took it down to the first knuckle.
Holy shit.
Wow. Did I mean? Do you know him personally? Because I didn't see any posts from him today, but that doesn't mean anything. I have to go look for posts half the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm friends with him on Facebook, and I've chatted with him, but I mean, clearly he's not, and I'm sure he's not posting anything on Facebook today. But damn, that's
Yeah,
crazy, man.
yeah. I didn't know he was on Facebook. I'm hardly ever on there.
He's not very active on it.
I reached out to him. Uh, I got his email and reached out to him and never heard back. So I was like, okay, but
Yeah, I
man,
don't
that's
think he's
horrible.
super active on this anything really more than the YouTube
Love
YouTube
his
scene. But
videos
dude,
though.
that sucks, man.
Yeah. I do
I
absolutely
hope
love
that
his
doesn't.
videos.
I hope that doesn't dissuade him from continuing to do bandsaw work.
So he was doing a sheath for you, like a leather sheath, or
Oh, he was cutting leather on a bandsaw.
I don't know. That's he just said he was doing a sheath for me. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. He was just doing a sheath, but well, Brad, if you get a chance to talk to him, let him know that we're thinking about him. He's in my prayers at least.
Yeah, 100%. Um, wish him a speedy recovery on that, man. Okay, so typical, I mean, not to just totally derail and go, okay, well, great, wish Joe well. Um, Typical Chinese junk. There's a screw here that I thought maybe I could
Mhm.
take these scissors apart and sharpen them flat, but it's nothing more than a tension adjustment, unfortunately.
Mhm.
So that sucks. But I don't think I'm going to shave with these scissors anytime soon, but they'll certainly cut wrapping paper. Um, have we got like 7 or 8 people in here?
Yeah, I see 6 on my end, but
6 now. Yeah, it ebbs and flows. How's the weather in Nebraska, Brad? We actually got a decent day today. It was like 39 degrees. I think I texted you earlier. I took the dog and my daughter, and we did like a 3.5 mile hike, and it was. I kind of just didn't really check the weather, and I was like, bundling up and putting scarves on and like layering and whatever. And then I walked out my front door, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna start sweating. So I had to kind of peel off a little bit.
he says
Cold,
it's cold.
yeah, yeah.
It was freezing-ish temperatures here last week. But this week it's been in the 40s and 50s. It's been really nice, and it's now raining.
Now it's raining. Yeah,
Yeah,
we were
it's
supposed to
been
get
raining.
snow tonight. They were calling for a couple inches of snow tonight, and it certainly dipped down as the sun went down. But I don't think it's cold enough to snow. Um,
Brad said they got some.
Dusting, yeah, cool. All right, well, let's see here. What was I gonna do? Oh,
Hey,
I'm gonna do a wrist check. I got my Seiko Monster on the wrist tonight on a rubber rubber strap. And I was gonna say, I saw when you did your unboxing, you were wearing the watch, so I was happy to see that, man. I'm glad you're getting
yeah.
some use out of it, and it looks
So
really good on your wrist too. By the way, I'll say that. I couldn't wear that thing anymore.
I don't wear watches that often. 2 reasons. My wrist is pretty big, so not a lot of them fit. That one was kinda tight. I do have one other watch that I need to replace the battery on. I opened it up the other night, and the batteries I have were the wrong size.
Hmm.
And then 2, when I was in EMS, I had to wear a watch all the time. I used it to, check pulses and, all that kinda stuff. So I got burnt out on wearing watches, but, I did get one just so that I could learn, because I needed to make a watch strap. I wanted to do leather work, right? So
Hmm.
I just started wearing it last week. It is one of the most technologically advanced watches I have.
Oh, nice. I like that. What is
Timex.
that? Oh,
It's
Timex. Is it
Timex.
an Expedition?
Yes, and it lights up whenever you push the button. Well, it's too
Yeah,
bright in here, but
dude.
if it's dark, yeah,
Let me tell you something, man. People will poo-poo Timex. I have a Timex, and it's not the Weekender, and it's not the Expedition. It's like, but it's just a field watch. It's just a cream dialed
yeah,
field watch, and it's quartz battery operated. But man, I've had that thing for like 4 years now, and it's still on the same battery. Keeps great
yeah,
time. When you have to when you change the time on the thing, it's buttery smooth, and it was like $38 or something.
yeah. I wanted something that looked halfway decent that I could make different watch straps for to go with different, attire that wasn't,
Hmm.
that was halfway decent looking and wasn't expensive.
Yeah, that style of watch there that you have, it's called a field watch,
Yeah,
um, or some people would call that a me. I'd have to look at it again, but for the most part, the expeditions are what they call field watches, which
yeah,
is a very versatile watch. You can dress it up. You could certainly dress it down. Like you were saying, the type of strap you put on it really makes all the difference. I mean, I think pretty much the only place a field watch would look out of place would be like suit and tie. And
yeah,
even then, if it was maybe a cream dialed field watch or a white dialed field watch or something, nobody would look twice at it, especially not in 2025, man.
yeah. And
But yeah,
depending on what watch strap you have on it.
no, yeah,
So this is the
no.
one.
If
This is the
you,
watch my wife bought me. Oh God, probably 7 years ago, and it's the one I was trying to replace the battery on. It's a Invicta.
oh, an Invicta, sure, sure, sure.
Yeah, and it's it's a pretty decent size band. I mean,
Invicta
watch. It's
is
pretty bulky.
known Invicta is known in the industry for making oversized watches. Um, why don't you want to watch, Brad? What I mean, shoot, man. If you're into axes and knives, and I mean, if you're in Nebraska, I'm assuming you're into guns and stuff like that. Dude, watches is just one more rabbit hole to go down, man. All right, we
Hey,
got
I
like
could say,
10 people in here. Um,
hey Joe, I could say the same thing about leatherwork for you.
yeah, believe me. I mean, there's a reason why I'm not going to get into it. Like, I mean, whatever. I mean, I say I'm not going to get into it, but I think Nate threw me some leather supplies. I think he said he threw some supplies in the box for the trade we're doing. So I'm sure I'm going to make more than one sheath. And you know what, dude? I sent you guys a picture in the group chat the other day. Somebody says hello from Maine. Hey, what's going on? I like your axes. I just have never gone that way. Hey, from
Alex, what was
Georgia.
that?
What was I going to say? I was just going to. Oh, I sent you guys a picture of some of the old leather work I did. It wasn't as bad, I guess,
Hmm?
as I remembered it, and my eyes
It
are
looked good.
way better now than they were back when I was doing that leather work. So,
It didn't look bad at all.
wow. I
I
mean,
honestly, I need to come up with a mask that's like an all-purpose mask that like you can put on pretty much any single bit, or a boy's axe size, or a jersey type bit, or whatever. I need to do that with double bits too, but I just like making the custom ones so much, and they just fit that head. But
Alex says
oh,
I need
and
more axes. I only have about 74. Yeah, now that's you got to bolster those numbers, buddy. 74 axes. Um, dude, so I think I showed this in briefly in the
yeah,
video that I unboxed or whatever. Now this is a piece of shit. Like clearly this is a piece of shit. But the concept is a sound one, you know what I mean? Like I think if you were to
hmm,
make something like this, obviously a lot nicer, but then maybe just string or something. I mean, that way you could take up the slack or let it out or whatever. And as much of a pain in the butt as you actually think that is to have to retie it every time, it's actually not. It's not that big of a deal. Because that's the one that I use when if I'm going out with a single bit, that's the bit cover that's
hmm.
on it. Unless it's I have only one other sheath that I made. Where is it?
So I
Here
was
it is.
thinking of something basically just a bit cover, and using, yeah, like that, and having a
I did
buckle
this
on
one
it.
too.
That way you
Yeah.
could that looks great.
Um, but
If I put a buckle on, if you put a buckle on there, you could adjust the tightness for different, like if it was a Dayton, or a head that was shorter, or whatever.
like an actual like buckle with holes.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
mean?
like a
Yeah.
yeah, a
When
strap
I
and
made
buckle,
this,
like it could cinch it down.
I only had snaps. So like I
Hmm.
made this one for my Shapley's boys axe on a house handle, which was a little chunky, and it fits that one perfectly. This one is on a vintage handle, which is kind of small, so like
Hmm.
it's loose, but I
Still,
mean it
man,
doesn't. You know the heel isn't going to come out or anything. It's not.
it looks good and it works.
Yeah,
And
it
yeah,
looks
Brad,
all right.
you do need to get into it. You do need to get into it. So if you
Uh,
do get into in one of my videos, I was kind of talking down on the Amazon stitching chisels, but I
right.
think it's because I was trying to use 3 millimeter and they were extremely, extremely tiny. I stepped up to 4 millimeter on the wallets, and I'm using 5 millimeter on my leather axe masks, and they actually work really, really well. The brand that I got is Wuta, but I'm sure they're just like anything else that you get on Amazon. They have that company's name on it. So, but you don't. I thought that you had to go buy some nice expensive ones. No, man, just the 3 millimeter that I had used before was just way undersized for the thickness of leather that I was trying to go through.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the right tool for the job. Ethical axe is in the house. Ever think
What's
about
up,
making an
man?
axe sheath with wood? I have not thought about that, but I know, like, I feel like the Japanese are really big on the wooden sheaths, and clearly they know a thing or two.
I saw
Um,
somebody do that. I saw somebody do that. I don't remember who it was. It was on Instagram or something. What's up, Brian? I don't have my sandals on right now. I feel kind of overdressed.
I've just got some
Yeah,
truck
I got my
axes
truck
I've
right
got
there.
given my friends. Hello, good sir.
Hello, good sir. To you too. What kind of truck axes have you been making? Speaking of truck axe, so I've given away quite a few bus axes to friends and stuff. The very first bus axe I got was from Ethical Axe, and he's a really good
Ah,
dude.
okay.
Yeah, he's a really good dude. I don't remember what it was. Something happened to the package. It had gotten damaged. The edge had got messed up or something. And he sent me another one out. He just sent me another one out. I didn't even ask for it. He's an awesome dude, and it's because he is ethical. That's what he told
He
me.
is ethical.
I- Yes, and I
He is.
appreciate that.
I invited him out to go be mischievous in the Kingswood with me, and he said, just because he's ethical, he can't go chop the King's wood. And they call me Joey Hood, I guess. I don't know. I'm like,
Even if it's dead standing.
yeah, well, yeah, no, I mean, no, and he said too. He said, I don't think what you're doing is necessarily wrong. It's just I don't want to do it.
Uh, y'all are
Axes are
not
ethical.
y'all aren't too far from each other, are y'all?
Nope, I don't think so. And he knows Mike Law. Him and Mike Law are buddies.
Yeah, Mike. Actually, I was talking
Um,
with Mike today, and I think he brought him up last week.
did Mike show you that? Oh, I can't remember, a Revel or Rival or that big Euro axe that he did today?
No, I didn't
Oh,
see that one.
he must have just. I think he did it this afternoon. He sent me a picture. It looked cool. And we were laughing because anything that has a big broad blade and is European at the flea market that we frequent, somebody inevitably will always go, "Oh, that's an executioner's axe from the 1500s." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, for sure, man." And you just kind of move on. Um, so
I
should
would
I?
love, huh?
Oh, I was gonna
I
say,
would,
should I open this package?
yeah. Go ahead, man. Open it up.
You know what? I forgot to freaking text machinist Mike and tell him we were going live. But I told him we were going live at 9, and it's
Oh,
9:30.
I was supposed to text somebody as well, and I forgot about it because I didn't know
Yeah,
if I
and
was going to be
I
grabbing
should
a
have texted
mechanic.
all the guys. Um, but it'll
Okay.
be able to be replayed, so he'll be able to. If he's not watching now, he should be
Yeah.
able to replay it. And you mentioned Spyderco before. Um,
Yeah.
I got the Endora 4. That's what I'll tear into this one with. So I don't really know what I have, but I know it's handle laminate materials.
Hmm.
And he just kind of told me he cut some laminates for me. Let's see.
Yeah. I'm
And
sending him something.
he said, I put a note in there, and I don't know, I can't remember what I wrote, and maybe you want to read it on camera, maybe you don't. And I said, well, it couldn't have been worse than the note that I wrote to Ryan. Sorted scraps.
That was so funny, though. I had to leave it in the video.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I put it in there, and I said, well, the power of editing. Oh no,
Yeah.
this isn't bad at all. There's no cuss words. He even put a freaking smiley face on here. You know what I do
Aw.
too? You know what? Anytime I've ever gotten notes, I always
Mhm.
fold them up and I stick them behind this saw here, and I keep on saying one of these days I'm gonna make a proper like backdrop here, and I was thinking about maybe plastering like the notes too. I don't know if that's corny idea or not. All right, let me go through these. I'll tell you what, too. Mike is like ADD when it comes to packing. He packs things very well, and he like groups them. I don't know because you've gotten his wedges, so you've
Yeah.
you've gotten the same thing, right? Where he sort of like keeps everything together for you. So yeah, these are not wedges. These are okay. Some of these are wedges. Sweet. We didn't talk about wedges. But this is all supposed to just be laminate material. So, this is when his blade took a shit. Okay. Yeah, he broke a bandsaw blade cutting this bloodwood.
Yeah, he told me that today.
We've got. I'm getting kind of flared here. Oh yeah, here you go. You can see it. I got bloodwood laminate. Check the chat here. You guys ever going live and accidental meet and hosting by? Yeah,
I was
we were actually talking about going up to the Brant Cochran meet, and I shoot weddings on the weekend, and I just met up with my buddy the other day and said, "Hey, Columbus Day, try to see if you can keep me out." And he said, "Dude, I already have you booked, so I don't know if I'll be able to make it this year." He cut me some nice
I would
bloodwood
love to go to that.
wedges.
Yeah.
Bloodwood
I would
wedges.
love to go to that main meet, but I live way down south, so
Well, if we ever put it together, what you do is fly into Philly, man, and then we could roll up from Philly.
yeah, we
Shop
definitely need to get
scrap.
together.
Okay, so this is walnut and canary. Sweet. So this is a walnut. This is a canary, and these are just wedges. I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
his
set for
wedges are
wedges
nice.
for a while. Cool. All right. So this is just scrap. He said scrap. This is purple heart. This is a nice big chunk of purple heart here. Nice big chunk of purple heart. Oh, nice big scrap of zebra wood. That's sweet. Let's see. Rosewood scrap.
Ro
Nice.
let's see that rosewood. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that is nice. That'll take oil really well.
Yeah, I was
Isn't it?
talking to him
Isn't
today about some laminate stuff.
Irco? IRO? Oroco? This looks like. I'm not sure if that'll come across. It's kind of like. It's almost kind of got like a peach seed finish to it. It's weird. But he cut these
Ethical
into.
said Ethical said rosewood is rare laminate and handles.
Yeah. Is it? I don't know if it's all rosewood, but I know like Brazilian rosewood, I think you're not allowed to, like, because that was a big thing in guitars for a while. Brazilian rosewood,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
just flat out not allowed to do it anymore.
Hmm,
Canary. Here we go. We got some canary.
nice. Yeah, a buddy of mine saw that last handle I did on that, national, and he hit me up. He wanted me to do a custom axe for him. I'm gonna do something special on that. But I ordered some glow in the
More
dark carbon
rosewood.
fiber.
Oh,
I didn't
nice.
realize I didn't realize it. I thought it was in the United States, but it's coming from overseas. It's not going to show up until after the first of the year, but no big deal. I still got other projects to do. So
We got
mm,
more
his
bloodwood.
wedges are
Ooh,
nice,
look at
man.
this piece. Look at this piece of bloodwood.
I love bloodwood, dude.
The handle on the tribute axe for your father was bloodwood, right?
Yep, right here.
Yeah. Oh,
And it's
holy shit!
got
I thought the he said I threw a big chunk of purple heart in there for you, and I thought that was where is it? Oh, I thought that was the big chunk of purple heart, dude. Look at this
oh
piece of
wow,
purple heart he threw in there. Holy smokes, man! You could get
decent size
you
for
could
sure.
probably get you could probably get 8 wedges out of this. Damn. Thanks, Mike. Let's see.
It's a
I
nice
just started
chunk.
cutting my own wedges. It was easier than I thought. Yeah, man. I always just kind of cut wedges like as needed. And I don't want to say that it's easy because nothing's easy, but um, cutting one off I think is not too terribly hard. But building a jig and making them assembly line style, there's something to be said for that. And
So making the jig's not that hard. I had a wedge jig. I used it on my bandsaw, but my bandsaw was a shopsmith, and shopsmiths are notorious for not tracking straight. So I'd have to set
yeah,
the fence up. So if I went through the time of doing all that, I would cut a bunch of wedges. But I saw somebody also set up something to use on a crosscut, like a slide saw. But yeah, the wedge that Mike uses is almost identical to the wedge that I use for my bandsaw.
the jig.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the jig. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I gotta because if you have a jig, like the jig requires a fence, basically, right? I
Hmm.
mean, the jig
Yeah.
works off of a fence. I have to make
Yeah.
a fence for mine. Um, I have seen the factory fences. I know that they're, pardon me, I know they're around. And there's a track for it to ride in. I haven't seen one. I haven't found one locally, and I don't think it's worth it to buy one when I could probably just make one fairly easily. But
Well,
I
and
don't know.
it, just like Ethical Axe said, he just cuts them by hand on the bandsaw or with a handsaw. It's just a slant cut, right? But if you want to knock out a whole bunch of them that are all the same size and all the having a jig helps make them all, as close as possible. But if you're just doing it per axe, yeah, just knock it out as you do it.
Just cut it out. Yeah, I mean, at this point, Mike has given me so many wedges that I probably can hang. I've probably got enough wedges for the next 40 to 45 hangs. So I shouldn't have to worry about cutting any wedges anytime soon. Um,
Yeah.
but when I do, um, Brad makes his own wedges, but he needs a bigger bandsaw. Yeah, man, I want a bigger bandsaw too. What are you rolling with, Brad? Like a 10 or a 12-inch bandsaw? I'm guessing you want a 14. Because I have a 12-inch tilt head Craftsman that's 1 1/8 horsepower, and it's perfectly fine. Like I can get by with it, but honestly, the space that it takes up, the floor space that it takes up in my shop, is actually greater than what a like 14-inch Delta or something would be on a cabinet that I could put casters on and have it roll real easy. Because
Yeah.
this Craftsman has a massive table. Like honestly, dude, the Craftsman has a table so big that half the time I'm cutting stuff, there's shit on the table just lying there. Like I've cut handle blanks out and I have coffee cups lined up on the other side of the table. It's huge. Legitimately, we could put 2 chairs on either side and eat dinner on the table of this freaking this Craftsman saw. It's wild. It's a big table. I don't know why it's so big.
My dad had an old Craftsman like that, and I remember the table on that bandsaw being just really, really big.
Yeah, they make big ones, man. I think they go up to like 16, 18-inch, maybe even possibly 20. Brad said he has a Walker Turner 10-inch from the 30s, completely
Oh wow,
restored. I mean, that sounds cool.
that
So
is
my
cool.
first ever bandsaw was a 9-inch. Um, It was a Delta, but it was like the home light or something. I can't. It was like Homecraft maybe by Delta, and
Mm.
it was from like the 30s or the 40s, something like that. Nice old, all iron body saw. The thing probably weighed 100 pounds. It was heavy as hell. Um, and it worked okay, but it just didn't have the balls behind it to cut hardwood.
Yeah.
And
When I
the
settled back
blades
down,
were the blades were a really random size too. I can't remember. I read on a couple different forums that like the sizing for the blades, like they don't make them anymore, and you could
hmm,
press like a something into service to make it work or whatever. But I mean, we just saw with Mr. Bradfield, like obviously, like when you're dealing with power tools and saws and things like that, you really don't want to be finagling anything when it comes to a freaking power saw, whether it's a table saw, miter saw, a chainsaw. Like just make it right.
I saw on Marketplace not too long ago, it was a 14-inch jet, and
Yeah,
the guy had like 10 extra blades, and it was like new. He said he only used it for one project and he needed to get rid of it. And he was selling it for like $400 cheaper than you can buy it new. I would like either
damn.
a jet, a grizzly, or I would love a Laguna, but the Lagunas are really expensive.
Yeah, Delta's good too, man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
true.
I think Jet is possibly a step above Delta. I could be wrong on that. But the guy that I used to buy, well, actually, no, I didn't buy anything. What am I talking about? He used to give them to me. Local to me, there
Yeah,
was a guy that made, he was a woodworker and he would make cutting boards. And he would give me all of his little, like scraps and stuff like that. And the first,
yeah.
maybe, I don't know, probably the first 10 hatchet handles I made out of scraps from what kind of wood was it? Locust, honey
Hmm.
locust, honey locust scraps from just different ones that didn't plane out right or whatever they were. They didn't make the cut. Um,
Yeah.
and I made maybe like my first 10 hatchet handles out of those blanks. And like that handle on the Connie that you got, like I said, was probably the first 10, 12 handles I ever did. But that one was ash. That one was a piece of, I'm pretty sure that was a piece of ash that I got from an actual mill.
And it looks like ash.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm 99% sure it was ash.
a 14 inch is definitely, I think, the way to go, especially if you do axe handles and stuff. Just the
Yeah.
retraw capability and how you can set it up. I think that's the size I want to go with as well. What's up, Machinist Mike? We were talking about you a while ago. Your ears burning?
Mike, thanks, man. So you'll be able to watch it back later, but I took a look at everything, dude, and you hid the big piece of Purple Heart at the bottom. I thought I thought that was the big piece of Purple Heart, and I was like, damn, dude, look at this piece of Purple Heart. But here we got I mean, dude, this is the size of a freaking watch box. This thing's big.
So
But Mike,
if
I appreciate it. What'd you say, Ryan?
I'm, I'm still worried that this is too loud. If it's too loud, y'all say something in the comments and I'll do something different. But I hope it's not too loud. It's loud AF in here. So
Not. I mean, I'm wearing an earpiece and I can't hear anything. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments. We've been neglecting the comments. One of my best double blitz splitters is a honey locust. Yeah, they're still smoking. Can't. Yep, Jason says he can't hear it, and he can't hear it either. Brad says so. I think you're good,
okay,
man. Do
cool.
what you got to do. Yeah, Ed hung 15 Mississippi packs the other night, and I didn't even notice he was doing it. Just
Right
kind of
on.
doing my own thing.
Right on.
Um,
So he's doing a smaller one as well, huh?
yeah. I mean, if if anybody, I don't want to. He hasn't announced it yet, so I don't want to blow the
Well, I saw it.
surprise. Not
I
that
got
there's.
I got to watch part of the video, so he like showed it on the video.
Yeah, but it's cool though. From what he told me, it's just a scaled down version, which is kind of interesting because I believe the Mississippi Pack is just a scaled down version of the Redbeard Kentucky. So
Yeah,
you know, you can kind of get the mama bear, the papa bear, and the baby bear, which I think is kind of cool.
yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, Mike. Yeah, the laminates are awesome, dude. Yeah, for sure. Let me see. What do I got here? I got this piece of white oak, Mike, that I have traced out a faller's handle that I'm gonna do for Mike Normandy, and that was what I was waiting on the laminates for, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure what would be a good contrast, but like, dude, the rosewood would be sweet. The rosewood would be cool. The bloodwood would be really cool. Although I kind of selfishly want to keep this bloodwood for one of my. I was just saying to somebody the other day, man. The last 4 or 5 axe handles I did all went away. I didn't. I got to keep none of them. So, but
That's the
that's the
same thing
way. I
with
mean,
me and leather masks.
yep.
Axe
Maybe
masks,
it
that's
was
the
you that
same
I
thing
was
with me.
saying that to. It's like, what do they say? The cobbler's kids have holes in their shoes or something like that. Which is totally true, man. Because I mean, I'm a professional photographer, right? Like by trade, and I have a bunch of great pictures of my kid, but you won't see any of them hanging up on my wall because none of them are edited and printed. Oh, it's cold. My coffee's ice cold. Got my little Schrute Farms mug from the office.
So I tell you something, man. I've kind of brought it up earlier. Stitching holes and getting everything to line up on the front side and the back side has always been tricky for me. But I started doing punching halfway through and then punching halfway through on the other side on my leather axe masks. So I started trying it on the leather wallets, and it's it's not perfect, but it's 10 times better than it was. It takes longer, but it makes the stitching look so much better because it's more consistent on both sides.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you ever have a situation though where like the holes don't line up?
Sometimes, but I'm taking my time. So, like on this, I started in this corner and then I would prick halfway through, and then I would punch the first hole all the way through to the backside, and I'd start on that one. So I knew that was lined up, and then I would go off of it and I just flip flop it. It's taking more time, but the stitch line is so much better. This isn't very thick, but you got the thickness of the leather. So this is the 3.5. So one, two, three, four different pieces of 3.5 ounce leather plus the glue. Even when you try to hold it perfect, like I stop shy of the back side, and sometimes it's dead on, and sometimes you can tell it's veered off. Like I don't know if you can tell or not. Right here, I didn't go all the way through, but it's enough that you can see that it made an indentation and it had veered
Mm.
off. So, but doing that, man, it's taking more time, but it's I think it's worth it because it's lining up so much better than not doing it. I always cussed myself because I'd spend 4.5 hours on a wallet or a mask or something, and then I would go to stitch it up, and then what had been perfect, I would screw up on stitching.
Yeah, I mean that's I think part of the reason why I'm like just kind of not wanting to get into it because I just don't have the patience for it, man. And like I
Gotcha.
also have I have the temper of like a 4-year-old toddler, dude. So like the minute something doesn't go right, like I'll probably whip it across the shop and go inside and sulk.
Hmm.
So, which
I
is not
man,
cool. I got to work on that, but
I even tried drill presses And especially with an axe mask, because of how thick it was, and you're going with such a small bit, the bit would flex inside the welt, and
Hmm.
inevitably, some of them would get off.
Okay. Um, that's one thing that I didn't have access to. Like when I was doing my leather work 10 years ago, whatever it was, I didn't own the house that we're in. I was just in an apartment, and all the leather working I was doing after work on one of the cutting tables of the studio I was working for. So it was like, it was kind of rushed. I wanted to finish up and get the hell out of there and get home and
Mhm.
whatever, you know what I mean? So everything was very rushed. Everything was with like those rapid rivets, and I was I was punching the holes. I mean, I still would be punching the holes with just one of those generic hole punches with the hammer, you know what I mean? Just like that. Um, but now I have, obviously the shop where I could do a little bit at a time, and I have a drill press, so I wouldn't be stitching. I'm just going to be riveting, you know what I mean? So I think I could probably get away with drill pressing holes for the
Yeah.
rivets, right?
Yeah, that
Because
would
they'll
be
certainly
alright.
be a lot cleaner than the
Yeah.
hole punch for like. Because inevitably, what would happen is I'd go through and then I'd hammer it one more time, and it would like kind of like deform the leather a little bit, and a lot of times the rivet would hide that, but I don't know. Or
Yeah, if
like
you get a good rivet in there.
and I did not have a good riveter. I had like a riveter from like Hobby Lobby or like Michael's Craft or something like that.
Oh,
When I
I don't
got
even
into
have
the
a
leather
riveter.
working,
I don't even have a
but
riveter. I was just saying if you put a good sized rivet on there, it'll hide some
oh, a
stuff.
good size rivet. Gotcha.
So
Yeah,
Ethical Act says he likes good leather work, but he doesn't like doing leather work. I get that. Sometimes I don't like doing leather work, but I like the end result. And then Machinist Mike said he's doing. Oh, that's going to be cool. I would love to see pictures of that mask. And no, the leather's not really stretching. I've got it backed up on a big piece of marble and punch pad, so it's not really stretching. It's um, pretty solid. It's just I
I'm just
suck at stitching holes and keeping everything perfectly in line.
I'm just scrolling back up through the chat. So Brad said that he's got one of the Redbeard Kentuckys, which is cool.
Uh-huh.
And he also said that he hasn't tried laminates on a handle yet. And I'll just tell you that I don't do laminates to be fancy or anything. I do them solely because it's a lot more efficient and cheaper to work with 4/4 stock than it is like
Mhm.
6 or 8/4. So
Yep,
that's
I
why I do
agree.
laminates.
Yep, I agree.
I mean, I guess the plus side is they look kind of cool, you know. Um, but yeah, there's just a lot more waste when you're starting with thicker stock, and it just takes longer. Frankly, you know what I mean. So
Yeah, you're not wasting as much wood, and I mean, if you wanted it to look, there's some guys that still use 4/4, but they try to match up the grain of other hickory to glue in as
yep,
laminate palm swell to make it look the same.
yeah,
Get
yeah.
it.
Like if
I
you
get
use
it.
the
You're
same
trying to save
species of
money and stuff.
wood, and yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if you use the same species of wood and match the grain up pretty good, nobody will look twice at it, really. Or you
Yeah.
could go like with a totally blonde, like a hickory or something like that, and then like a crazy bloodwood or whatever, or like
Mhm.
what we did for the Duke's handle, the
Yeah.
zebra wood, and have a really cool contrast.
Yeah.
So
Or I'm really getting into you saw the last one I did. I'm really getting into inlaid palm swells.
yeah,
Um, I need to come up with a jig for my router. I need to go to the store and get something to make a jig, but you know, it's fancy. It's not necessary, but it's something I was wanting to try to challenge myself. Oh, but I
yeah,
mentioned
that one
earlier
came
the
out.
glow in the dark. I mentioned earlier that I've just purchased some glow in the dark carbon fiber. So it's basically
Yeah.
going to be like this, but glow in the dark for my buddy's handle.
Nice. That probably is then I think that might be the coolest axe handle I've ever seen. The one that you did on the national, and the fact that you did that with all basically all hand, like not basically all
Yeah.
hand tools, right?
Yeah.
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 No, that's cool. I have not tried the inlaid palm swells yet. Maybe one day I'll try them.
It just depends on my mood, right? Like sometimes I want
Yeah.
to do something fancy like that. And then sometimes I just want to put together an axe and that's it, just make it look just
Well,
a regular handle.
I mean, I think just the fact that like most of our crew, I mean, everybody in the chats here and stuff like that is carving their own axe handles and stuff like that. I mean, that's like by far and away so much more than most guys are doing. So it's kind of like
Well, and
already
ethical
we're
acts
sort
take
of
it
in the
to a
top
completely
1% of what people are doing on an axe restoration. But
yeah.
I'm sorry, you were saying?
I was saying ethical acts takes it to a completely different level though. Like he's got the log and then he's
Riving the
setting up the
billets.
log and yeah, he's doing it from like a stump, or
Yeah, and you know what, man? Like I wish I had a little bit more room in my yard because I did rive some billets 2 years ago. Um, Matter of fact, that I carved Mike Normandy a handle, and I carved it out of the billets that I rived, and I think they actually wound up being like walnut and not whatever I thought it was, because
mm,
the handle wound up turning out really light, and then also there was some bug activity, and there wound up being a couple tiny little pinholes. And when I was supposed to meet up with him, I was just going to give it to him, but I was like, dude, honestly, it's not worth putting in a box and shipping unless you're planning on hanging this on something and hanging it on the wall because it's probably going to blow apart like the first time you use it, which sucks because I finished it completely. Like I don't
mhm.
uh I don't know. Maybe I shared it in the group chat. I don't even know where the hell it is at this point. Uh,
I honestly haven't made a whole lot of handles.
I don't know where it is. How many handles have you made?
From scratch, I think I've only made 4 or 5.
Really?
Yeah, and, like, my first one, I'm tempted to go back and thin it down and reshape the palm swell, but then again, I'm tempted not to touch it because it was the first one I ever made.
I don't know if I'd touch it honestly. I think sometimes it's cool to have like the more crude stuff to look back on. You know what I mean?
So, like you sent Nate, Craftsman Palladium,
Right.
this Connie was the first handle I ever did. It's a house axe. It's a 20 for me. I've got huge hands, so I think it's 21 inches. And it's a little funky. The palm swell is just huge, but it was the first one I ever did. So
Yeah, dude, that looks pretty good for the first one you ever did. I mean that one there is probably as good as my 30th handle. So I think I have somewhere in here. It's not that one.
mm,
The first one I ever did, I still haven't hung. I just kind of, well, I don't know. I'm not going to go digging around for it, but like this is probably like the second or third one I ever did
uh-huh.
here, and I made this one from two laminated pallet wood slats.
Really?
Yeah, like because when I first started carving, I didn't have any hardwood, So I just broke down a pallet and laminated two slats together, and just thought I would practice on it or whatever. But I wound up hanging a couple that I did like that, and I beat the shit out of one, and it was fine.
I still,
Way better than my
I know,
first handle. Ethical says.
I don't know. I know what I'm going to hang on this, but I don't know what
Oh,
I'm going to
that's
do with it.
the locust one.
Yeah, I'm going to hang this bearded axe. Um, I got this. It's from like Kosovo or something. I don't remember where it's from, but I thought it was larger. I thought it was a big one. I'm just gonna make a kitchen axe instead of having a cleaver. I'm just gonna make a kitchen axe.
Yeah, that'll be
Or
sweet. And
and
that
that's gonna be
that
perfect.
locust that handle there is just roughed out or whatever. So like you have plenty of meat on there to make it
Mhm.
sort of what you want.
Yeah.
That was actually one of the little chunks that the guy gave me. He just I
Oh
met
yeah.
the dude on like Facebook Marketplace or something like that. He was giving away. He had a couple barrels full of offcuts and just scraps and stuff like that, and he was like, "Come get them, or I'm going to throw them in the fire pit." And I was like, "Oh God, no, man!" And some of them were really nice straight grain pieces of like locust and ash, and I think maybe possibly elm, something like that. There was a couple nice pieces of purple heart and oh, what else was in there? Some cherry and stuff. Like little thin pieces that I think he was using for like divider, because he was he made cutting boards and stuff and
Hmm.
birdhouse or not birdhouses, music boxes. He was like he made
Okay.
these music boxes. But oh, you know what? He had a jet bandsaw
Oh,
in his
okay.
shop. Really nice jet bandsaw. Way
So
better. That's very cool. I'm on the hunt for some sweet gum. Oh, sweet gum.
sweet gum.
That's some hard. Mike, you want to talk about a bandsaw breaker, man? That's some hard shit.
Hmm. I would love to find. I want to make a traditional Tasmanian pattern handle. Um, and I probably just have to use whatever wood I can find, but it would be cool to find, something like that. Because I have this one Tassie that I have hung right here, and it's just not a traditional handle. I don't like how curvy it is. I think more traditional would be more like that Arvika, but I'm not 100% sure. I need to find someone who has a pattern or just look at some pictures and see if I can come up with it.
Didn't I
He's got
think
special
I
blades
think
for it.
actually I think he sold it. That jersey that Kevin had, that Fall City jersey that he had was
Uh-huh.
on a sweet gum handle that he pulled off of a Tassie that he got from somewhere. But I remember it was a sweet gum handle and it was sort of like you were saying, more of a traditional Tassie style pattern. I
It
guess
wasn't a
it's a
super
different
curvy.
lumber.
I don't even
No, it
know
wasn't
what a
super curvy.
traditional I don't even know the length of what they would normally come on. I think like 30, 31, something like that.
I think so. I think it's like 30 or 31. Yeah. I know that one finished out at like 30 or 31.
Yeah, I hope that the weather, like I said, it was raining a while ago, and they said the weather might be bad. Hopefully the weather will hold off, and I can do some more chopping and videoing tomorrow. If not, then I'm just going to go ahead and mail out that dingo pup to the next guy, and I'll have to do the comparison video whenever my pup comes in.
Yeah. I've been jonesing for mine, man. I actually Ethical Axe will know this. I sent him a screenshot earlier today. I was watching the video that I did, just kind of like just reminiscing about that axe, and like I'm very excited to get mine.
I am too.
But I totally forgot when I was chopping the one tree down. I had a pretty bad deflection that I just totally forgot about, and I was like, "Ooh, holy crap! I got lucky with that one."
I think we've all gotten lucky. I was
Yeah,
watching somebody's, I don't remember whose video I was watching the other day. It was an older video, but he was talking about how he actually got himself in the leg and had to go get stitches and all kinds of stuff.
So I have cut myself very badly. I have cut myself to the point where if it was only a couple inches more in on my leg, I probably would have hit my femoral artery.
Oh,
Not
good
with an
lord.
axe. Not with an axe. Oh, here we go. Story time. So when I was like 17 years old, I was at my parents' house, just hanging out in my room, doing things I shouldn't have done. Just elevating my consciousness, if you know what I'm saying. And I was not in the right frame of mind, and I had a big like fantasy style machete, like just a big Bowie, like a big fantasy Bowie that had a real
Mhm.
sharp like tip, right? And I don't know if am I in frame here? Okay, so I'm hanging out and I'm swinging the Bowie around, and I'm wearing swim trunks, and I bring it like this across my body, and it drags across the front of my thigh and
Oh,
cut me to my bone, bro. I
wow.
saw my femur bone.
Oh, good
Um,
lord.
so I started bleeding like a stuck pig, and I was losing a a decent amount of blood, but not like profusely because it wasn't arterial bleeding.
Hmm.
Um, but if you know anything about the leg, I mean, your femoral runs on the inside of your
Yeah.
leg. I cut it on the outside. But,
Mm.
long story short, got to the hospital, like 67 stitches or something like that. Like 55
Wow.
of them were internal. And the
Wow.
surgeon was like, "That's one of the cleanest cuts I've ever seen." I'm like, "That's funny because that was a shitty Chinese flea market
Mhm.
Bowie knife." But yeah, dude, that was not cool. I ruined a couple of my mom's dishcloth, dish towels or whatever, like making bandages and stuff for my leg while I was waiting for the ambulance to come. I actually was going to drive myself. Um, I called
Really?
my I called my buddy up to see if he could come drive me to the hospital, and he told his dad, and his dad called 911 because he's not a moron.
Mm,
So,
mm, mm, mm,
but
mm.
luckily, dude, when I was between the ages of like 16 and like 20, I almost killed myself a couple different times doing dumb stuff. Going around corners in my Jetta like at 100 miles an hour in the rain. I spun my freaking Jetta out. I feel like my father knows this story by now. I mean, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm 40 years old now, but bro, I almost put my Volkswagen Jetta through somebody's uh front of their house like 10 days
Oh
after I
my
got
god.
my license, just being an idiot going like 85 miles an hour around a bend. And it was like the fire marshal for our town too. I don't know how I didn't get busted doing that. So yeah, I
That's
almost
fascinating.
friggin' bit it there. I almost got I did get run off the road on my motorcycle by a woman just not paying attention in a minivan. I crashed
Mhm.
my CR 250 like twice. Wound up going in the hospital for. I don't know if either one of those times I was really flirting with death, but maybe serious injury or paralysis. And then the femoral artery thing too.
I've cut myself a few times working on axes, but it's just been like barely. But I remember the
Yeah.
first time I cut myself because of my own stupidity. I was a kid. It's one of those, I was doing dumb shit. Back when we were kids, we would play BB gun wars, and we would only pad our crotch. We wouldn't wear safety glasses or anything. We were just shooting at each other. Well, we were cutting open bamboo and shotgun shells, making our own little uh, fireworks, if you will.
Yep.
And I cut myself down to the bone on my finger. Um, but yeah,
Cutting up
anytime I go into
shotgun
the
hot.
woods, yeah, just dumping the powder out of it, putting it in bamboo with BBs and stuff in it and a wick and sealing it off. Um,
Yep.
but anytime I go in the woods, whether I'm chopping or whether I'm just hiking around, I always take first aid with me and make sure that I have, like my old lady knows where I'm going, and I give her a time frame of when I'll be back, and if I'm not, I'm going to call. Just
Yep.
does man. There's somebody
So
oh,
it's
the guy that cut himself that we were talking about. In his video, he said that he didn't have first aid with him, and his phone was dead, so he couldn't call, but thankfully, he was close enough to home that he was able to make it back home.
yeah, and there's a great chance that one of our phones are going to be dead because usually when we're out there chopping and stuff like that, we're filming. So
Yep. Well, I
I
take a
was
backup battery
actually.
too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I take a
I
battery backup with me.
Yeah, Mike's saying take an IFAC with you. I was talking to the guy
Mhm,
Ryan Benson from up in New England, Benson Axes, and he was saying that there's a company that makes a really good kit that has like coagulant and I don't know whether it was a rat's or a cat tourniquet, but they make a nice little kit that you could just throw in your bag or whatever. I have one that I keep. I don't know how in detail. I don't. I know YouTube is whatever, but I have a little IFAC with a tourniquet and stuff like that that I keep on a chest rig that I don't want to steal. You know what I
mhm.
mean? And put in my chopping bag, but I need to start bringing something out with me because I mean,
The
I try to be as
life-saving
safe as
gear
possible, but
the tourniquets, the quick clot, all the cool stuff, in case you guys try to save somebody's life or your own that I have on my chest rig, I also have in my backpack that I carry daily.
yeah, because I think a lot of people are like, oh well, if I ever needed a tourniquet, I'll just make one out of a belt or blah blah. I'm like,
No.
man, no, you
Mm-mm.
won't.
And
No, you
and just
won't.
having a tourniquet isn't enough, man. You need to
Oh
stage
yeah,
it, you need to practice with it because seconds really do matter. Like if you hit a femoral artery or an artery and you're squirting, you've only got seconds.
yeah. No, you really need to understand how to use a tourniquet properly, and also like the proper application, like you're saying as well too. And I don't think a lot of people realize too, like you when you apply a tourniquet, like you don't just turn it until it gets tight. Like
No. Mm-mm.
you turn it until you can't bear it anymore, and then you turn it two or three more times.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of people don't understand that. Like here's a great example too. Like you and we talk a lot about like the fitness and going to the gym and stuff. And when I first started going to the gym like 2 years ago, people talk about going to failure, and
Mhm.
I started mistaking going to failure to mean going until it's unpleasant
Mm-mm.
to continue to lift. That is not what going to failure means.
Failure
And I've
is you
only
cannot lift
recently,
it.
yeah, I've only probably within the last 6 months realized that, and you know, now that I truly understand what that means, like the level of gains I'm seeing is actually going up exponentially. So it's just
So
interesting how that works. But yeah,
guess
I think a
guess what
lot of
my
people
wife
are. What'd you say?
I guess what my wife and I are doing tomorrow. We are
Going to the
going to
gym?
go yeah, we're going and signing up and getting a membership at this local gym in this town.
Good man, good.
Yeah. When talking about tourniquets and stuff, when I was in basic training, we went through medical training, right? Just basic medical training. And I kept raising my hand and asking questions to the instructor. Like the third time I raised my hand and asked a question, I was like, why are you not also doing this? He looked at me and he said, "Do you have freaking Eagle Scout or something?" I said, yeah, actually I am. He's like, "Get up here and help me teach this class."
So I know we talked about Boy Scouts. I never made Eagle. I was a Life Scout, and then I kind of got pushed out of the troop just because we had bad leadership. Um,
Hmm.
but our troop was really big and active on like the first aid and the medical stuff and like that too. And I feel like for somebody that has no formal medical training, I probably know more than the average duck about
You
a
probably
lot of
do.
that stuff. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
really haven't kept up on it as much as I should, but
yeah, you probably do know more than the average Joe Blow.
yeah. And you know what, man? I mean, that's something too that like if you don't use it, you lose it. I mean, like, especially like
Essentially.
CPR and things like that. You
Hmm.
gotta those are certain things that you really should be taking refreshers on.
Oh yeah, because I was a firefighter EMT for the longest time, and it was when they still had intermediate. Um, a lot of that stuff, man, I've already forgotten, but it's been 25 years. Um, so yeah, if you don't use that's one thing for sure. If you don't use it, you lose it. Plus, they come out with other like they've how many times have they changed what you're supposed to do for CPR?
Right. Brad says, nope, until you can't move the weight. Right. Yeah, right, Brad. So, yeah, like it's not until it's unpleasant to continue to do reps. It's until absolute failure.
Yeah.
Know your ABCs and control bleeding. Yeah.
Airway,
ABC is
blood, and
always,
circulation.
always be closing, right?
Yeah. Airway, blood, and circulation, right? See, it's been 25 years. I can't remember.
That was that was a sales joke. ABC is always be closing. If you've ever
Oh,
spent any time in sales.
I was I was thinking medical and I'm sewing, so I was thinking closing. Like you're
Well, no, I mean I'm sure he's talking
like
about the airway, the breathing, and the what is the C in that? Airway, breathing,
circulation, I
and
think. Yeah.
circulation. Yep, yep, yep,
I
yep,
had it.
yep.
I
Airway,
had it
breathing,
right.
and circulation.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I still remember some of it.
I'll tell you what, the biggest thing about like emergency response and stuff like that, the biggest thing is like just being able to stay cool and calm and collected.
Hmm.
I've always been pretty good about not panicking in emergency type situations. And that's just, I think, something that like no class or training is going to teach you. You just have to be able
Right.
to be calm, cool, and collective. And it's funny
Yeah.
because like with the emergency situations, and anytime there's ever like a something where I need to be like, oh shit, it's go time, I'm always good. But like, if I'm sitting here working on an axe and one little thing goes wrong, I get really emotional and ticked off. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, there's it's difference between life and death, and oh damn, I just screwed that up.
Yeah.
With life
Oh,
and death,
buddy,
you can
if
you
I
can
had been
recoup it
filming
later.
when I chipped the tongue off on the Osage, whatever, oh, that would have been a clip for the ages.
I can
And
imagine.
it's funny because it chipped off by just driving it out with a little just a little whatever, a little piece of ash dowel thing that I made. This chipped it out, and I got so pissed off I launched it across the shop into whatever, and no, totally fine, totally fine.
Mm,
But just gingerly knocking it out, it chipped the tongue off. But it'll be cool. It's fine. I'm gonna finish it up tomorrow, hopefully.
right on.
So let's see. We got anything? Good habits, stop preventable mistakes. Yeah, no, ethical acts. Oh, I think. Oh yeah, all right, cool. You're back, Ryan. I was gonna say you just dropped out for a second.
Oh,
Yeah, we talked about that before, Brian. That part of the reason why I think like you chopping in flip flops is a good sort of exercise for people is because like you don't need steel toe boots and chainmail socks and everything like that. If you're using good habits, you're probably not going to get hit into your feet anyway. So it's good.
yeah. I thought about doing an homage for you, Brian, and just going out there and chopping in my Crocs, but I don't have any flip flops on the road with me.
Well, now I think technically he wears slides.
True. Yeah, I guess so. I don't have
Yeah.
any of those either.
So
It's
anybody that ever
it's
says, "Look at this guy chopping in flip flops," well, so you got to pay attention to the details because he's wearing slides most of the
yeah,
time.
it's really hard for me to find footwear when you wear a size 18. So
Yeah. I'm surprised that you can actually find Crocs in a size 18.
actually, the DXL, the big and tall store,
Uh huh.
their 15s actually fit me. And I tried
Yeah,
Crocs.
Crocs. They
They're really
kind of fit a
big.
little big, I think, right?
Yeah. I tried a pair of 17s in Crocs, and they were actually too big.
And
So
that
it
probably
depends on the
never
footwear.
happens, huh?
It depends on the footwear. In tennis shoes, I wear anything from a 17 to an 18, and in boots, I wear 17 all day long. So
Yeah. Dude,
it sounds like very limited.
when I first met my wife, Ryan, I was wearing a size 12 shoe. And like the first time I ever went shoe shopping with her, we were still probably dating or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, let me go, let me get these shoes or whatever. And she's like, what size are you? I'm like, size 12. She's like, there's no way you're a size 12. You're like 5'6". I'm like, no, I'm a size 12. And like she actually fit my shoe properly. Yeah, I'm a 10 and a half. So
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 in
all my
basic
shoes
training,
used to.
go ahead.
I was just saying, all my shoes used to have a fold in them because my
Mhm.
toe was like an inch shorter than the shoe. But you were saying in basic?
So in basic training, the biggest combat boots they had was a size 15. And immediately I was like, these don't fit. And they were like, shut the hell up, recruit, and put these boots on. So 3 days
Oof.
later, we're standing at the end of the bunks in front of their foot lockers, and you're doing inspection just in your underwear. And my drill instructor comes up, and he's like, "God damn it, Bosley, why the are your toes bleeding?" I told him, I said, "Hey, these boots don't fit. My toes are all fucking jacked up because of boots that don't fit." You know what they did? They drew my foot out, had it measured, and they came back with my Air Jordans that they spray painted black. So we called tennis shoes in basic training in the Marine Corps go fasters. So I got to wear my go fasters through all of basic training unless we were doing a graded drill. Then I had to wear the toe busters, as I call them, the boots that were too small.
Damn. I,
Yeah,
I don't know whether I've actually you've told me this story before or
I
somebody
might have.
else. You think you have or you don't think you have?
I might have. I don't know.
I feel like I've heard that before. Somebody else had a similar experience where like the Marine Corps or the Army or whoever didn't have the proper size shoe and they had to just spray paint them black. Maybe I'm thinking of
Yeah,
something different. I can't remember, but that's funny though, man.
yeah. It was. They just showed up one day and threw my Air Jordans at me that had been spray painted black.
Ethical Axe says you're the Shack of Axe.
The shack of axe. Yeah, I joke around and say I'm spawn of Sasquatch.
I wonder what size shoe Shaq is. I mean, I can't look
But
it up because I'm using my phone right now. But
I think
he,
he's
he
22 or something.
oh really?
I think so. Yeah, it's
How
something
tall are you again?
ridiculous. Well, I don't know. I haven't measured in a long time, but right out of high school, I was just under 6'5".
Okay.
I'm probably 6'4" ish now.
I think Joe Buckley's 6'5". He's a
Yeah,
massive human being.
yeah. Like I said, he's a little bit bigger than I am.
I
So
was just chatting back and forth with Mountain Man Axes. He did a little short about a plum, and
yeah,
he said, "Oh, where are you from?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm from the land of plum, the suburbs of Philly or whatever." And Nate chimed in, and said, "Ooh, nice plum," because it's Nate. And I said,
yeah.
"No plum short is complete without Iron Ox chiming in." And he said, "Oh, Nate and I are probably the two biggest Plum fans on YouTube." And I forgot to write back, but I thought, oh, clearly you've never met Joe Buckley. Because in terms of size, Joe Buckley is by far the biggest Plum fan. Um, but I mean, we know a lot of guys that are super into Plum, and I don't know. Maybe it's just because they were everywhere. They're everywhere around me. I just haven't been super. They're just not special to me, so I don't get the hype. But they just
Yeah,
don't do it for
when I
me like
was
a lot of the other ones do.
working up in Sherman, Texas, there was the guy that actually made these figurines for me. Right, so a buddy of his was a scoutmaster, and he has supposedly one of the biggest plum collections in the United States. I wanted to go meet him and interview him and take a look at his collection, but he was at Philmont Scout Camp, and then the next week I got transferred to Houston, so I couldn't meet up with him. But that would have been really cool. I would love to have seen that.
Oh, Joe Buckley's in the house. He says
What up?
he's here.
What up, Buckley?
Brian says he loves Plum. And your avatar or whatever picture or whatever is a Plum double bit, I think, right? Big Buckenheimer in the house. Mike Law says, "Love your Christmas picture." Yeah, Joe Buckley has. I feel like he's got an OnlyFans that we don't know about because
Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah, he's got quite a few risque Facebook pictures.
I was really,
Also, I might
really
have said
hoping
this to
that.
you before, Joe, but you know, I don't know how comfortable I'd ever be sitting down at your table for dinner. I've seen way
Well,
too many pictures of his naked ass on that table.
yeah, yeah. His what is it called? His fall calendar needs to be coming out. Just don't move the pumpkin and show the gourd.
Yeah, don't eat at that table, he says. Yeah, because I mean, we've only seen pictures of probably only about a quarter of what's going on that table. He likes to have fun.
Yeah. Oh,
Don't eat at the table.
I
Oh
wish I
yeah.
had half the courage that Joe has, man. Like Joe just doesn't care. I'm like, no, I'm fat. You're not seeing that. Joe's like, fuck it, I don't care.
Brian says his avatar is a plum victory, 3.5. Let's
So
see.
Buckley, have you started using that draw knife? I know you said you used it a little bit. Have you continued to use it? Life's too short to worry about. Yeah. Well, mine's a little thing, so that's why I worry about it. I don't want the world to know.
Oh, he's using it. I don't.
Right,
I don't know
right.
if I
I
told you
don't.
this, Ryan, but when I went over to Joe's house and he was checking out his shop, he's like, "Oh yeah, check out my draw knife." And I'm looking at the sheath, and I'm like, "Oh, this is really nice leather sheath on this thing, man." And then I flipped it over, and there was a Lionhead stamp, and I'm like, "Oh, there you go."
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time he uses it, he says he feels more confident with it.
Good. The thing I love about a draw knife is you can take off as little as you want, or you can hog off a lot. They're very, very um, controllable and yeah, they're just freaking fun to use and they're useful. But yet, I did learn one thing the hard way is reading the grain. I chipped off a tongue because I didn't chamfer the edge because I read the grain wrong and just chipped off a huge part of the tongue and had to start over.
Yeah, you could get yourself into trouble pretty quick with a draw knife, but like practice makes perfect just with anything, man.
Yeah,
Once you get good with it, like you've seen some of the shorts that what's his name, Town Axes does. Like that guy's a
yeah,
surgeon with his draw knife, or
yeah.
even ethical. I mean, ethical. He's a
Hmm.
freaking surgeon with his draw knife too.
Right.
And that I mean, and the only way to get that, to get there is to carve 200 um, handles. I mean,
Yeah,
every
yeah.
handle I carve, I feel like I'm getting better and faster.
I'm in awe of y'all and how many handles y'all pumped out and done. I think I'm just too like I like doing them. But it takes so long because I'm like I can't screw this up. I can't screw this up. I can't screw this up.
Well, like I told you, man, the first probably half dozen I did were just laminated pallet wood. So there was nothing to, I mean, there was no pressure whatsoever.
Yeah.
Um,
So
and
I think I showed you in the chat. I have a True Temper Tomahawk that is unmarked, and my brother is into throwing.
yeah,
Of course, this has a marking on it because I tried to laser engrave it, but it didn't work very well. Um, but he picked out. He wants me to make him a laminate handle, and I've seen guys make fully laminate handles, but I've never done it before. Um, he picked out. Oh, oh man, he picked out some zebra wood. He picked out some purple heart and something else for me to make this laminate handle for him. And like four different woods, so it's all going to be glued together and laminated and carved out for a throwing hatchet. But what's weird is a lot of people like your straight handles for throwing hatchets. because of the release.
Right.
No, my brother, he worked for a throwing place. Like he throws. He used to throw for a living. He likes the traditional. He wants a curve with a palm swell, and he wants the traditional. He said that's what he learned to throw with, and that's what feels comfortable.
That makes sense. Joe says throwing hatchets, huh? He probably is thinking, oh, throwing hatchets, that's cute. I throw 4-pound double bits across my yard.
Yeah, here's what Joe's throwing.
Yeah. Yeah, the first time I saw that short, I was like, "Oh, that's cool. He's got a little cruiser he's throwing." And then you meet Joe, and you go, "Oh no, that was a freaking Puget Sound."
Yeah. I don't even know what this is one I got from Kevin. This thing's big.
Oh, is that Flint Edge,
Yeah,
Michigan?
yeah. It's a nice difference.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all can see that because of the lighting, but so with this handle is thicker than anything I've ever had in my hand as far as handle goes. I don't know if it's original,
No,
and I
I don't
want
think it
to.
is.
Okay, I won't feel bad thinning it down then
Uh,
because it is
I
it's
honestly,
beefy.
I had debated on just cutting the handle off when I first got it because it's just, I think it's just a hammer handle, honestly, that somebody fit in there.
Okay, kind of what I was
Um,
thinking, but it's just so thick. It's thicker than this freaking any accent I've ever had. I need to thin it down because it's just
yeah,
it's more than I'm
I
used to
didn't
holding.
have that thing. I didn't have that thing very long before you expressed interest in it, and I told you right away it's yours. Because
Yeah.
the only reason I actually wound up even acquiring that is because the trade that I worked out with the guy, he just brought a bunch of stuff to the market that day, and that was kind of just one of the things on the table that made sense for the trade. So I said, I know I'll be able to turn this into something that I want. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
I did it. You know.
I'd always thought about getting one. Kind of like I said in my video, I like just weird stuff. But I was never gonna pay for one. I was never gonna pay for one.
Yeah, I don't think they're worth what people are asking for them on eBay and stuff. But he had a and I'm pretty sure I showed the price tag on it when I did my Confessions of a Tool Hoarder video. I think he had a tag of like 165 on it, which I think is pretty fair. Um,
Yeah, I do too.
that's not the most mint example of one I've ever seen, but I think the mint
It's not the
examples
worst.
are going for. No, it's certainly not the worst. Um,
I've seen them go for $600, but it was with original sheath and everything.
yeah, original sheath, and probably it still had the paper label on it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But Norlands are fine. They're fine. Like they're whatever. But the collectability is cool. I think the history like is cool or whatever. But they're just not like there's this mystique about them. Like they're gonna cut any better or hold an edge any better or whatever. And like they just don't. They're just mans. I mean, it's just
yeah,
a man
and they're
edge.
they're later too. What, like, I don't know, 70s, 80s? I
The
might be wrong about
earliest
that.
example, no, you're not. The earliest example of a Norland I think you'll ever find is I want to say like late 60s. I'm not the
Okay,
history guy, but I feel like 68 or something like that is when
okay,
Norland came to be. But they were making them into the 80s, yeah.
yeah,
Um, on that Legitimist podcast, they did a Norland episode. As a matter of fact, when I was coming back from Jamaica, I was listening to that particular episode, so sort of had my undivided attention. And Killinger was talking about one of the he's got a really big Norland collection, and one of the
yeah,
things that he has that he thought was really cool was a bubble pack, like blister pack like set that had like the camp axe and like maybe a takedown bow saw or something like that. And he was saying how he thought that was like probably into the 80s they were making them. And I want to
yeah.
say he was saying they were sold at Kmart, something like that. Mike says he's got a
Camera.
Norland Hudson up for trade if anybody's interested.
Yeah, I saw that just pop up.
I had a Hudson Bay, the smaller one, the Voyager, that I traded Chad recently. He was looking for one. And I had one that I got in a lot locally, and we did a good trade. That's how I got that Western Union Telephone Company Dayton from him.
The only Hudson Bay I have is this wood slasher, and I got it from Ed over a year ago. Um, we did a collaborative build for a guy up in Alaska, and I built a mast for him. And I was like, So I had the head in my hand. I was like, okay, I've never been into Hudson Bays, but this actually looks like it's halfway decent. And Ed was telling me that, yeah, he only likes the wood slashers because they have a taller pole, if you will, like a taller, more
The
meaty
taller
eye.
eye.
And so it's not like the Voyager. It's not going to come loose as easy. But then I saw Nate's, oh, drawing a blank on
Snow
what
and
brand
Neely.
it was. No, Neely, yeah. And it has a taller eye too. But I need to hang that. I need to hang that and try it out.
So the older like LL Bean branded Snow and Neelys are like a totally different Hudson Bay style than that traditional like Collins Legitimus Norland style that's like real angular with the short eye and the short pole. They
Mm-hmm.
used to just be like more of almost like a main wedgie looking pattern, and then I guess they like the zeitgeist at the time. Collins Legitimus came out and like they were doing that short pole, and I think for whatever reason, Snow and Neely just decided to like get with the times and change that pattern up. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a mistake because I'm not a huge fan of I'm not a huge Norland guy, period. And like I've had quite a few Hudson Bay Norlands go through the shop, and I had a couple for a while. They were the big thing in bushcraft for a while. They always
Mm-hmm.
come loose, and I just feel like they're not. The balance of them is off. Doesn't feel right. The heads are kind of light. The I don't know. They're not my cup of tea. I understand the collectability. I think they look cool.
Mike Law says he has all of them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Michael. I was going to say Mike likes the Hudson Bay. I know. Brian, what kind of Hudson Bay or what kind of Norland did you have? A Hudson Bay or Brian says Hudson Bay isn't my favorite pattern to use. Yeah, I mean, I just
Yeah, but he was in agreement to saying the taller pole is the way to go.
yeah. And I think the older Snow and Neelys too had a more wedgy profile that was just generally a little bit more useful of an axe, like for a camp axe. Because the other
Mm-hmm.
thing that the Hudson Bays are not great splitters. I mean, they're just
Yeah.
not.
Dude, have you used a modified Tommy axe?
Yes, I where is it? Here it is. This is my
Oh, okay,
this
that's
is
right. You did have.
my camp axe.
Yeah,
Um,
man,
I've had this for years. I've probably had this for I don't know 8 or 10 years or something like that.
putting this one on that bus axe handle, it came out to like 33. I'm sorry, 23 and a half. A little short for me. Like I find myself, I'm just well and away. But it's a little small for me. I don't think I like anything really less than 26. But for a backpack axe, dude, this thing hits way above its size.
Yeah,
I'm blown away how well this thing works. Who else has used a modified Tommy log splitter?
Brian says he bucked with a Hudson Bay versus a Connie. It's not bad cutting 5 inch diameter or smaller. Yeah, I mean, right.
Mhm.
Like if you're using it for what its intended purpose is, I'm sure it's fine. And I guess it's obviously going to be more. I don't know if efficient is the word, but it's certainly going to be an easier axe to swing. Like a 2 pound Hudson Bay on a 24 is going to not tire you out as quickly as a 28 or a 30 inch with a 3.5 pound Connecticut. Mike, yeah the log splitter is the 5 pound rafter. You got to whip it. Brian's saying, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. what you're
Yeah,
lacking in the head weight, you got to make up with the head speed, I guess, right?
the speed. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Brian, have you ever used a modified Tommy axe, like on a longer
Devo.
handle?
Oh, I thought he was quoting Devo.
Jason says the Plum National. Yeah, like the Plum National, I think is all around just a better pattern than the Hudson Bay.
Yeah, I like the National a lot. I was talking to Nate yesterday about trying to find another either patent applied for or a 2.5 pound. Like,
I only have the 1 3/4 pound one, that sort of like forest axe style one, like the one that's just a little smaller than the boy's axe, but a little bigger than the hatchet.
yeah, the Plum House National Boys. So I heard that they even made nationals up to 4 or 5 pounds or something stupid like that, like 4 or 5 pounds.
I don't know about a 5 pound, but I know they made a 4 pound or a three. Is it a 3/2 or a 4 pound?
I think somebody
No,
said they
no, I
had a
think it's a
4 pound.
pound.
Yeah,
The one that you put on your custom handle was a 3/2 or a boy's axe.
3.2. It's the I think it's
A
like
3/2.
three three something. It's the patent applied for it. It's a little bit heavier.
Later, Mike. Mike's out of here. He's going to go work in the shop.
Later. Thanks for joining.
Just put a boys national on a 24. You did a yeah, you did a short
Hmm.
on that one, I think, Brian. Yeah, and that shot
Yeah, I
really
saw
well.
that. I saw that. It was nice.
And that was a good looking axe too. The handle that
It
you made on
was.
that one was really good.
Yeah, I liked that a lot.
I've gotten a 4.5 down to a 1.5. Jason, why do you post videos at all? I don't think you do. Anybody that ever subbed to me, I always check to see if they have videos. I don't think you post videos. You should though.
Yeah, I only
That
have
one
that one
handle.
national.
What'd you say, Ryan?
I only have that one national. The one I did on that crazy handle.
Yeah, I've got the what is it? The I don't even
Well,
know where
besides
it
a
is.
hatchet, I have a couple of hatchets, but as far as axes go, that's the only national I have.
Oh, this is the
Yeah,
one that I
Buckley.
got. This is the I think it's the 1 3/4 pound. But I put
That's
this thing
cool.
on a what is this?
Oh,
21. But I did this
so,
wacky looking palm swell on it that kind of
mhm.
is a little fantasy looking. I thought it was going to come out a little different, but I'll tell you what, you're not gonna lose it off the end.
Mhm.
That's for sure.
I went exaggerated with mine, and I actually I like it. So I have this uh, Boy Scout hatchet that Buckley sent me, and it's really cool because it's the same head style as my dad's Boy Scout hatchet, but my brother got that. I still need to fix that. I'm
And
thinking
that's the
about
national, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking about just putting wood filler in here and then painting it because they were painted anyways. So because it's permabond, I don't want to lose that. So yeah, but that's the one that Buckley sent me. Thank you, sir.
Oh, Brian says he's got two of the 1 3/4 pounds as well. Yeah, this is a nice little. Honestly, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I've used this a ton. I never brought this out on a camping trip. I only split some kindling with it for the fire pit, and I never put a great edge on it. But I should. I should. I was actually planning on tuning this one up to take on the trip to the island, and then I got the cruiser off you, and I was like, well, clearly that's got to go.
I'm glad you like that. Do you now see why I
Yeah.
like
Oh,
Cruiser?
dude, that's the axe that lives in the car now. For a long, long, long time, it was the just a boy's axe, but that one lives in the car now.
Right on. Yeah, that you could see though why I like Cruiser so much.
The cruiser on the
It's not.
Adirondack is really cool too.
Yeah, just knocked everything down up here. I have to redo that later.
Ethical says in the Northeast hardwoods it pays to split with a heavier axe. Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
I I was saying I don't know whether I was talking in the group chat or who I was talking to, but like as I've gotten into better shape and I can hike longer distances with heavier whatever, I almost kind of it was Kevin I was having this discussion with. If I'm not like doing a through hike or something and I'm not trying to cover 15 to 20 miles in a day, like if we're just going to hike 5 miles into the woods and hang out for the weekend, I'm probably just going to bring a full size axe in 2025
Mhm.
26. You know what I mean? It just for me it doesn't make sense to not bring a full size because I used to be weight conscious and I would bring a boy's axe or like a little hatchet or whatever, and then like all weekend we'd be struggling to do what we needed to do to split the wood. But I used to also be fat as shit and way out of shape, so um, I was very conscientious of how much stuff I was bringing in my pack.
That's
And the other thing too is as you get better and better in the woods, you start to realize you need less and less.
well, the whole reason I made this one, it's a full size jersey on that 26-inch handle. I
Yeah.
made this for, I'm going to say backpacking, but camping.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I would bring. I would just bring like a full size head on like a 28. You know what I would bring? Honest to God, next time I do like a walk into the woods, whatever, if hopefully I'll have my pup by then, I'll bring my pup.
Yeah.
That's what I'll bring. Because, dude, I mean, we could sit there all weekend and just buck up and split, and it's effortless. I mean,
Yeah. You see
but
Kevin,
if you
did you see the look on Kevin's face during our interview when he said, "Yeah, when
when
I
you
get
said
that
you're gonna
back."
keep it,
Well,
yeah,
I didn't say I was like, "Hopefully you get it back."
that was almost as good as the look on Remy's face when he told me you're gonna shave his beard.
Oh, dude, I swear to God, he knew exactly what I
He
said
did.
because
He
I was like,
for
"Bro,
sure
we're
did.
gonna have to." He had all kinds of sticker burrs and thorns in his beard. I was like, "Bro, we're gonna have to shave your beard." And he said, "Dude, I
He
lost it."
double taked on you and gave you the head turn.
Yes, he was like, "What? what? What blasphemy is this?" I
Yeah,
died. I
Brian
couldn't.
says
I couldn't.
2 more pounds isn't bad. Like, yeah, I mean, it's all relative, I guess. Like
Yeah,
2 pounds if you're doing like if you're doing the Pacific Crest Trail, 2 more pounds is going to kill you. But if we're going to hike 5 miles into the woods and spend 3 days there, you're not even going to notice 2 pounds. Um, I mean, especially if you're carrying in a bunch of water and stuff like that too. But I mean, the more I've dispersed camped over the years, the more I start to realize that like you don't need a lot, man. Like when my buddy Kyle
mhm,
and I went to the island, all the weight was water and food. But I didn't even bring a knife. I didn't even bring a knife. I brought that cruiser. Kyle
mm,
had a Mora. Oh, I did bring a knife. I just always have a Mora on my PFD. But I didn't bring a fixed blade, heavy fixed blade or anything like that. I was just like, what am I gonna need it for?
yeah.
We brought water in, we bought food in, I bought a fire kit, and I bought my sleep gear. And other than that, the cruiser, obviously the cruiser.
Mhm.
But other than that, I just brought like batteries for filming and whatever, and my sleep gear, and
Well, if you're not,
I didn't
like you said,
even.
if you're not trekking a long way, you don't. It doesn't matter if you're kayaking or canoeing in. You can bring the kitchen sink if you want to.
Well, the one caveat to that is, do you have to portage? Because portaging sucks.
Sure,
Um,
sure,
but yeah, I
sure.
mean, yeah, for sure. Like if you're canoeing and like you're not portaging crazy long distances, yeah, bring a cooler. I
We
mean, we
went.
brought a little soft-sided cooler for our food.
We went to Cabela's a couple of weeks ago here in Mississippi, um, hoping to see if they had any canoes. We saw looked at some of the kayaks and stuff, but we were also wanting to look at canoes. They had one canoe, didn't like it at all, but they had an old stock, Old Town Scout or something like that. It was a 17 16 foot, and it weighed like 32 pounds or something. And you could tell it still had a
That's
barcode on
really
it. They used to sell them, and it was the older style. It's probably 15, 20 years old, but it's brand new. And I tried to get them to sell it to me, and they wouldn't do it. I was so upset. I was like, "It's got a barcode on it. Just freaking let me have it."
scan it, God damn it, yeah. Yeah, if you're gonna get a canoe, Old Town is the way to go. If you're gonna get a kayak, I've got several different opinions on models and stuff like that. But for canoes, yeah, Old Town. They're like,
And
I mean, there's plenty
I
of
really
guys
like
that are
canoe.
making canoes, but
Yeah, I really, really
Old
like
Town by
canoe.
far and away is the best like mass produced canoe I think that you're gonna get. Like
Yeah,
the
everything else
Pelicans and the
is.
Colemans and stuff are just they're not put together
Yeah,
the best.
and to go
Uh,
above like an Old Town, you're getting into thousands at that point.
oh,
For a Swift or a North Star or whatever.
but those are all like crazy like I don't know if they're carbon fiber, but they're like all like
Ultra
um
lightweight.
ultra light and whatever, and like that's I mean like if that's your thing, if canoeing, kayaking, canoeing and whatever is your thing, yeah, man, for sure, like spend that money. But if you're just going to use it a couple times a year and you're like tripping with it and stuff like that, there's there's nothing that an Old Town isn't going to do for you. And I have the same theory on kayaks too. Like, I mean, would I like an eddy line or something like that? Yeah, sure. I mean, that would be great. But I mean, I'm not going to spend 1,500, 2 grand, 2,500 um, on one. I'm just that's I just
Yeah.
I don't paddle it. I don't paddle enough, and I paddle more than most.
Well, and the reason we were kind of steering away from all of the kayaks that we've seen have been 75 pounds or more. I'm a big dude, so all the kayaks that I've seen that will handle my fat ass have been 75 pounds or more. I don't know that
Yeah.
I want to portage that with all my gear. If I can get a
No.
35-pound canoe, I'd rather portage that.
They also make these things now too that are hybrids. Like
Yeah.
they're like canoe kayak sort of hybrids.
Hmm.
There
Yep.
is a dude who uses one. I can't remember, like Gatewood Brown or Atwood Brown or something like that. He does really, really nice cinematic paddling videos, and he
Hmm.
also owns the company. Shoot, I forget what the company's name is, but it's a company that makes dry bags and stuff like that. Gatewood
Okay.
Brown. I'll text it to you tonight. I just watched one of his videos. But he's in
Right.
Texas actually. He's a
Oh
Texas
yeah.
guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But he did a paddle trip into those sort of like hybrid kayak canoe sort of deals.
Mhm.
But if you have some paddling experience, you can paddle even a 16 17 foot canoe by
Yeah.
yourself.
I think that's the direction we're going to go. Is we're going to get a two-person 17-foot canoe, and then if my wife wants to continue and get something on her own, well, then I can always single on a 17-foot myself too. So
Brian, so you paddle, Brian? I did not. I mean, I not
yeah,
like I know
yeah.
you too well, but Brian paddles. It looks like he's saying Ocean Gate Titan canoes are good.
Oh, okay. I'll check them out.
Yeah,
I thought you said Ryan. I
because
was like, wait, that,
I haven't paddled a canoe in I don't even know how many years. Last time I paddled a canoe, I might have been a Boy Scout.
yeah. I'm like, so I got to go in scouting. I got to go to Philmont. I don't know if any of y'all know what Philmont is, but it's a camp in New Mexico, which is thousands of acres. It was 2 weeks of hiking in the mountains, and I went back and was basically staff.
Oh,
At that time, you had to be staff to be able to get one of their axes. I had one, lost it in a house fire.
you told me that. Yeah.
Yeah, and those Philmont axes go for stupid money on eBay now.
Oh, he was making a joke. Ocean Gate Titan is that. Remember that was the submersible that imploded going down to go to the Titanic.
Oh, okay. was like, I've never heard of that before.
I never
Not
heard of
that I
that
know
either,
every
and I'm like,
not that I know every canoe company out there, but
yeah, I didn't know any. I'm like, oh shit, man, he knows his stuff about. I never even heard about this company.
well, he's a kidder, man. You can tell that by watching his videos.
Yeah,
Love your videos, by the way. Lots of knowledge, lots of entertainment.
I think he has the most unique axe channel out of everybody.
Yeah, I have to agree. Definitely have to agree. I need to go get something real quick.
Well, my phone is getting ready to die, man. So
Okay.
I will probably start wrapping up. But dude, we went live for almost 2 hours.
Did we?
My dog's been like, I can hear her circling around here, and she was scratching at the door before, and I opened it up, and she didn't want to come in. She was just giving me this look like, come on, dude, we got to go in the house.
No way. It says
But it's
38
11
minutes on
o'clock.
my end. It says 38 minutes on my end.
Oh no, man, it's
You're a
it's
slacker.
1.51. Oh, because you dropped out, I think, for a minute, so that's probably why.
Okay. All right.
But I
All
started the
right.
live, I think, at like 9 something, and it's 11 now.
Is it really?
So
Oh,
yeah,
that's Easter time. Yeah. Well, right on. I
yeah.
appreciate it, man. I had fun
Of
just chatting
course,
with
yeah.
you.
No, it was good hanging out and bullshitting, man. I appreciate the. Let's see if anybody else wants to chime in on anything.
Jason
Nice lot.
Brown.
Yeah,
What?
thanks,
Do I know you,
thanks,
Jason?
Brian. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, appreciate y'all coming and hanging out.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. All right, man. Well, I'll wrap it up, and thanks everybody for coming along, and Ryan, thank you for hanging out. Have a good night.
Yeah. Y'all
Talk to
have a
you guys
wonderful
later,
weekend.
Joe.
Later,
Yep,
guys.
yep, yep. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care, everybody.
Bye.